When was the last time you did something that would take you closer to a life that you'd love? Get answers to this and many other life-changing questions on Grow Your Soul Radio. Ignite your inner magic and learn the art of life mastery with Jane Matanga. Jane will unlock and help you reclaim the magic in your life. Take an inspiring journey with Jane as you receive guidance toward the path of your greatest dreams and desires as she helps you reach success as you make powerful changes that will get you back on track and keep you there. Discover insightful tools, world wisdoms, and exercises in this hit call-in show. Transform and awaken your inner light right now on Grow Your Soul Radio.
Yeah, everybody, welcome. On this Giving Tuesday, I am here with Jane Matanga. We're talking about, Grow Your Soul Radio, but today is about Let's Talk Archangels, your magical friends. Before we do that, I want to tell you a little bit about Jane, just so you know. Part of what she does and how she helps people across the globe is by connecting with them in ways that help each of us grow our soul. And why is it we want to do that? Because first of all, the soul is really longing to move forward. And we don't think about it that way. We kind of think about, why do things happen to us? But what if the events in our lives were simply placeholders for that next leap that we are meant to take? Today, whether it's you look at what Jane does and looking at Eastern, Western healing modalities, or work with her and have one-on-one Skype readings with her, today it's all about archangels. Jane, this is cool, right? I mean, I looked at today's show and I thought, okay, I need to dial me an archangel right now.
They are really such amazingly beautiful, loving beings. They are unlimited, and they're here to help us with everything in our lives. And they all have a special facet gift from God. So if we know what their specialties are, we can have a more personal relationship with them and connect with them more closely. And they're wonderful. They can give us guidance and protection and prevent us from making decisions that aren't in our highest good. So it's wonderful when you can have a more personal relationship with them. And what we're going to talk about today is 15 archangels. And some of us know some of them very well, but a lot of us don't know all of them, and they're amazing. So it's going to be fun to talk about that today.
Well, before we do that, let's talk a little, and we're probably going to skip a few breaks. One of the things I want to talk about is, what do the archangels do? Now, I have an image of an archangel. I don't know, probably got it as a young child, in some church or something, but you have an image of them. They're like warriors, so to speak, is my remembrance of them. But what is their role? I mean, I don't think people know what the archangels do and how that's different from the other angels.
They are celestial beings, and they are really all about love and light, and they are gifts from God. They are specially sent to us from God, and each of them have a gift and a facet of God's love and light, which they are imparted with to share with us. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. And they're here, they can be with everyone simultaneously. They are not affiliated with any theology. They are unlimited beings of light and love. And so it doesn't matter what religion you are. It doesn't matter what part of the globe you live on. They're here for all of us, and they can be with all of us because there is no time and space in the celestial world. It's all unlimited. So, learning to work with them and believing in them, and then when you understand what their specialties are and how you can connect with them in this way, it's very powerful and personal. And, you're never alone. That's people don't understand that we're not alone in this world. We have archangels, guardian angels, um, ascended masters, spirit guides, and it's just opening up to that. And when you do, it's a different type of life. I mean, you never really feel alone, and when you have that personal connection, and they can help you with so many things. All we need to do is ask.
Well, I mean, today we're going to talk about not only from the perspective of just asking, but each of them has a different, how should we talk about it? Has a different purpose. Let's start talking about them now. Okay, top of your list. Where do we want to start?
Well,
What's the angel you're
talk
going to?
about just the realms, just so people get an
Yeah.
idea of
Okay,
that. I
great.
mean, yeah, archangel means messenger of God or chief
Oh,
messengers of God. So you can think of them each as having a facet gift of God, which they bring to us. So they radiate divine light and love in all these specific ways, specific to them. So they were here before we were here on Earth, and existed long before any kind of organized religion or humankind, if you will. They belong to God and not to any specific religion or theology. And they work with anyone who asks, and that's the most important thing to know. So if you study angelology, there are 9 choirs or realms of angels. So the top layer is seraphim, so that's the highest order, and they're the closest to God, and they're pure light. And then there's cherubim, they're the second highest order, and they're pure love. There's thrones, which is the triad of the seraphim, and they are the highest realms in heaven. So um, then it goes down to dominions, and they are the next triad of angels, and they oversee and manage angels according to God's will and virtues. And then there are angels that govern the order of the physical universe. So they watch over the sun, the planet, the moon, the stars. And then there's the powers. So that's a choir that comprises peaceful warriors. Some people have the wrong impression that angels or even Archangel Michael was a fierce warrior. It's so not true. None of them are like that. They're peaceful and loving. And so archangels oversee humankind, if you will. They are, guardian angels. And as we talked about a little bit, they each have a specialty, which we're going to go into, which represent an aspect of God. So everyone has guardian angels. Everyone has angels and guardian angels. And sometimes we get a special assignment angel when we're going through a specific, could be a physical illness or an emotional challenge, and we can ask for them and we get them. So the first one I want to talk about, a lot of us know, is Archangel Ariel. And her name means lioness of God. And she's associated with the environment, with spirit nature, with healing. And she works closely with Archangel Raphael, who is the archangel of physical and emotional healing. And so she looks over the birds, the fish, the animals, and she governs order over the physical universe. So the sun, the moon, the stars, and the planets, and Earth. So she's known to have a connection with nature and Mother Earth. And so she plays an important role for us, ensuring that, the health of our planet. But also what people don't maybe know her as much for is that she can help you manifest in the world what you want from the standpoint of abundance, or manifesting in the physical world, if you will, what you want, prosperity, your material needs. So she is the archangel that's associated with the color pink.
Oh.
And so she would be the one that you would ask for if you would, want to create maybe more comfort and abundance and prosperity in your world. So she would be your archangel.
Mm.
Um,
Let me ask you about that, because I had a really interesting experience over the weekend. And so we're going through these clothes. Like Linda's sister has all these clothes, and she's like, well, who could we give these clothes to? I was really stunned by how many items were pink. And I have to tell you, it was kind of unusual because I've known Karen for a while, and I don't remember Karen wearing a lot of pink. But here was all this pink. So, question I want to ask you, was it really that there was a lot of pink, or was there something about me that saw a lot of pink? Because I think sometimes our archangels try to reach us in different ways, but I don't know. I want to ask you.
they can reach us through various ways, and they can come, they're basically non-gender, but some of them have a distinctive feminine or masculine energy, and they can come to you however they feel you will receive them in safety and in love. And so some of them come with a fragrance, like Archangel Jophiel. We'll talk about her. And some of them will come physically. You will actually be able to see them. Some of them will come by a touch. You can feel their wings sometimes, or feathers will be around you, like where you would never expect a feather to be for no apparent reason. So that, yeah.
I get feathers everywhere, and it's fascinating. Some people see them, some people don't. And I find that feathers are something that I find in a lot of places. But what is it about finding something like that? Let's say, you're walking down the street. We were at the wedding, Linda's nephew's wedding, and Linda somehow identifies a little teeny feather that nobody could see the feather, right? I mean, like, even after she said, "Oh, here's the feather," I'm thinking, I'm looking at it without my glasses, and I'm thinking that looks like dust to me, but it was a feather. So, can you talk a little bit about what is it that one should do if we are presented with images, symbols, or things that relate to an archangel like that?
It's just their way of showing us their love for us, and to remind us that we're not alone, and that many times when we get that, it's sometimes we really need to know at that particular time that we're not alone, or we're going through maybe a particular challenge
Mm.
where we need a little more help and guidance, and they want us to know that they're there. Or they come to us and when we are really troubled, and if we can open up to that and notice, the touch, the smell, the feel, maybe a flash of light, and it's just to give us hope and love, and to remember, to open up to them, because it's such a busy world. It's so, we're always going at such warp speed, and we don't take time to really notice stuff like that. As you said, you thought it was dust, and so it's just remembering to kind of step back out of all that busyness, and reconnect to, to know that we are loved, and we're powerful beyond measure, and we have so much more power than we remember that we have. Sometimes we forget who we are.
Yeah.
So they're there to remind us. And so that's why we get those signs, because we need to be reminded. We get so busy that we, in the physical world, that we forget. So they give us the signs to remind us to reconnect to that and to them,
Yeah.
that they're there.
Yeah. And, so for one of the reasons that this is such an important conversation, I want to get back to something that you said before and talk about how this works, because it's almost as if archangels show up in three dimensions, three dimensional. And I mean that you talked about before, you talked about the archangels being the messengers, and then you talked about the choirs of angels, and you talked about what they are. And it's almost as if I have this three-dimensional aspect of archangels. And I think you also mentioned that they are like prisms, right? And
They are.
prisms are three-dimensional
They are.
or
Yes.
multi-dimensional, right?
Yeah, they are. They are with us throughout our lives, and um, they are, our personal guardian angels are with us. And, a lot of people think we only have one. A lot of us have two and more. And you can always ask for more angels and get them. But they are just, they have no ego. They have no opinion other than love for you. And it's so unconditional love. So, it's powerful to really understand that and to connect with that, because you can ask and they will help you. There are many books about archangels and angels that will tell you people's experiences with them after asking for help, and all the amazing outcomes of that, and how they really, then you develop your intuition with them. You can write journals and write letters to them. And if you get really quiet, like almost in a meditative state, you'll get the answers. I mean, they will tell you, and you can literally write them down. A lot of enlightened people, like Dr. Wayne Dyer and many others, will tell you that their books were divinely guided. That they actually, and sometimes they'll get up there and they'll speak on stage and do enlightened work and do, God's work, to empower people to love themselves again and to open up to who they are. And many times they'll say they feel this presence that sort of comes in, and then they get the words, and then they start to write or they start to speak. And so it's the help that we get, and it's sort of the grace of God, and so it's really beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I totally get it, because, if you ask people that know me, and people I grew up with, and then they see what I do or they listen to the show, I can't tell you how many times people have said to me that actually know me when I'm not on air, uh, something happens to you when you are like, you just flow with it, you know what to do. And Jane, once upon a time, I used to try to explain it. Like, I used to think I have to talk about it. Like, when people would ask me, where did you study radio, or all of those questions, I had a sense of myself then that was a very low self-esteem about this work, and about why me? Why am I being called to talk with people like you, Jane, about creating a better world, about positivity? And then something happened to me, which was I got really sick, and I stopped asking that, and felt for sure that this is the way I'm supposed to show up. Now, clearly, that was for me to talk about back then a disease that very little people knew about. But this is really hard sometimes for people to feel the flow of that. And I want to get back to what you said and have you talk about it. This is not just for the Wayne Dyers or the Pats or the Janes. Everybody, right,
It's
has the
for everybody.
potentiality.
And just as the archangels have facets of God and gifts from God, we do too. I mean, it's no accident that we are all here. We all have a gift. And when I say we forget how powerful we are, that's what I'm talking about. That
Mm.
we came here in perfect form with everything that we need, and we forget that, because of the social conditioning or because of what people tell us, and then what we choose and start to believe, and we forget our essence. So that's the other reason that the angels and the guardian angels are here, because they know life on earth in physical form can be challenging with egos and all the multidimensional facets of being human in physical form. So that's why they're here, to help us. So just as we have gifts, as you do, doing Transformation Talk Radio, our archangels and angels have these facet gifts from God.
We were talking to somebody earlier this morning, And we were talking about, where we're going from here, what we're doing. And so Jessica and I, we're so engaged in what we do that sometimes we don't think about some of our clients finishing up their radio series. I mean, it's just not like we wake up every day and say, who do we have to reach out to? Because we reach out to people anyway. And so we were talking with someone this morning, and it was fascinating to hear their perspective of who we are and what we do. It
Mhm.
was fascinating to me because we don't see ourselves like that. And I think it's the same with what the archangels do when they come through people. Whether it's in a crisis, like we had a family member in the hospital, whether it's in a crisis and the right nurse shows up that knows exactly what's going on, right? You can't plan that.
Mhm.
Or in our everyday lives, how the archangels show up. What have you learned about this for to set the stage for the archangels we're about to talk about so that people can say, "Oh, I can use that energy, that prism, that archangel prism to address A, B, C, D in my life."
Yeah, I mean, it's when we start talking about their specialties, it's how you connect with them for that specific thing that you need, such as, we talked about Ariel, Lioness of God, and she's the one who can help us manifest material and prosperity and abundance in material needs in our life. But also, there's others such as Archangel Haniel, who is grace of God. And she is really someone that if you want to develop your intuition or your clairvoyance or your spirituality or your feminine energy, she's the one who is affiliated with the moon and particularly a full moon. And if you want to release anything that's negative or you need to heal negative energy,
Wow.
or you want to grow your spiritual gifts and become more intuitive. If you're into spiritual work, she is really your archangel. So you can ask her for assistance. So she's known to appear in sort of a silvery blue color. And she is, for me, she's distinctly a female energy. She's pretty amazing. If you want to, she's the archangel that I speak to before I go on the radio. I speak to Archangel Gabriel, I speak to Archangel Haniel, and I speak to Archangel Uriel, and we'll talk about them. And Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel, a lot of people are familiar with Archangel Gabriel.
Yeah.
Gabriel was the angel of the Annunciation, and Gabriel's name means strength of God. And it's Archangel Gabriel is really an archangel for creative people. So if you're an artist or if you're creative, if you write books, if you're a counselor, if you're in acting, Archangel Gabriel is sort of like your heavenly agent. So Archangel Gabriel can motivate you, to polish your skills or um, especially if you're before I went on this show, I prayed to Archangel Gabriel, and they can, Archangel Gabriel can open doors of opportunity. If you feel you're procrastinating, Archangel Gabriel can help you through that. All you need to do is ask. If you need the right words in a conversation or in a relationship, or if you're having trouble communicating how you really feel, and so that you want somebody to really know where you're coming from, or if you need some help in your chosen career and you just need the right words,
Yeah.
Gabriel is the perfect archangel. um,
Wow.
and you know and can help you get stuff done if you're putting stuff off and you're procrastinating. And so Archangel Gabriel is amazing.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. And one of the things I wanted to get to too is we seem to think that we have to have some kind of magic or secret way to communicate. Um, we don't, though.
you don't. You just need to pray. You just need to get a little quiet and open up to that, kind of disconnect from kind of your physicalness a little bit. And the best way I communicate with them is really I journal with them. And so it's almost like being in it's sort of like being in a state between, almost in a meditative state, but not quite there. And so if you have a journal and you can actually write out the questions to your specific archangel and ask them for help for things, and then get really quiet after you ask. And the best way to do it really is to actually tell them, thank them for already helping you. Because, the main thing with archangels is you really need to trust them. And so when you ask, you have to release that, believe it, trust it, and thank them. And it's that simple. It's really that simple.
I think one of the things too is that, you work with people and bring that light in, bring that energy in. And by the way, all of this information is going to be available.
Yes.
Jane has created a way for you to download this. Before we go to break, let's talk about one more archangel if we could.
Let's talk about Archangel Shemuel. A lot of people don't know about Archangel Shemuel, and it's his name means he who sees God. So if you lose something, if you lose your keys, or if you feel that something's missing in your life, Archangel Shemuel can help you with solutions for just about any kind of problem. Even if you've lost something physical and you're searching for something, or you're searching for the perfect job or the perfect relationship, you can ask Archangel Shemuel to come and be by your side. And, he'll help you with anything really that you're looking for. And his really main energy is also very peaceful. So he brings you peace in your life. And he resonates in a very pale green color. And he's a beautiful archangel. They all have different feels. They all have a different energy and a different aura. But he can really help you find what you're looking for. So if you're searching for peace, or if you're searching for something in your life that you feel is missing, he is your archangel.
Yeah, it's fascinating because I don't know about you, but I have always been told when you lose something, whether it's key, it doesn't matter. Keys. Look, I've lost a Harley Davidson. So I know that's hard. That's a whole nother show. But when you lose something, people say, stop, shut your eyes and breathe. And so what you're talking about makes sense, because in order to find things, speeding up and going faster hasn't really worked for me. And so it makes sense that that energy is allowed to come in so that it becomes your guidance system.
Yes. Yes, wow. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we got a lot more to share, questions that you might have about archangels. Jane Matanga's in the house. When we come back, we're going to tell you how you can find out more about Jane, how she uses archangels in the work that she does with people. 1-800-930-2819. If you have got a question, want to know which archangel to bring in to get you ready for this upcoming holiday season, 1-800-930-2819. I've already used a bunch of them. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Wow, everybody, welcome back. This great show with Jane Matanga today. And this is what Jane does. Archangels is what we're talking about. Let's talk archangels, your magical friends, 15 archangels. And we're going through them. We may not get to all of them, but that's not going to matter very much, Jane, because you've created a PDF for people to download. Tell us how folks can get a copy of that, and how can they work with you, because you work with the archangels when you work with folks.
I do. I work with people, and I use angelic guidance. And in personal mastery. And so that helps you align with your true passion, and it helps you get crystal clear about the next steps in your life, and to live a more uniquely inspired life. And the angels help me because I'm an angel intuitive. And then with regard to getting the PDF on the archangels to learn more, head on over to enlightened-path.com and subscribe. And you can get your free download on the 15 archangels. And we talk about that in detail in the PDF, because I know we won't get to all of them today, but it's really a nice reference for you to have.
Well, look, we've got a caller, Mr. Benny. Why don't we go to the phones? And I have a feeling we're going to be talking about the archangels with our caller today. So let's do it.
That's right. We'll take Renee calling in from Seattle. Renee, welcome to the show.
Oh, hi. Hi. My question is there an archangel for grief?
Yes.
For what?
Yes.
Grief. Okay.
Yes. It's Archangel Raziel. So Archangel Raziel sits close to the throne of God, and Archangel Azrael's name means whom God helps. So it's at Azrael, and so Archangel Azrael is a grief counselor who lovingly guides souls to heaven after their crossing, but he also consoles survivors and helps them heal from sorrow. So if you are burdened with any kind of sorrow after losing, your loved one in physical form, and if you've suffered a loss or in need of comfort and a way to get past what you've experienced, call on Archangel Azrael. He's the most graceful and the most elegant of all the archangels, and he will help you. He's known for appearing in a kind of a creamy color aura, and all you have to do is ask, and he'll be there to help you heal.
Thank you.
He helps both your loved one who crossed over as a guide, but also he helps those who are left, because your loved one is not really gone. They live forever. Our souls are eternal, and there's reincarnation. But, for us in human form on this earth, it's very hard, because what we know is physicalness. And, when we lose that, it's very difficult, because no one teaches us when we're growing up how to deal with loss. And so it's a wonderful gift to know about Archangel Azrael. And so pray to Archangel Azrael, and he'll come to you and he'll help you.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
Thank you. And please go ahead and go to Jane's website and download the PDF.
Oh, I will. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for calling in. I think that, what we're talking about today is, and we're seeing this in the level of anxiety. As a matter of fact, Jane, I don't know if you know this, but the number of prescriptions of anti-anxiety medications has now surpassed pain medication. And so, there are a lot of reasons that people, especially in my field, want to talk about that. I know for me, when I have been in that space of anxiety and stress, it's been because of my separation from my higher power, whether they be archangels, whether that be God, whatever that is, it's not me. And so long as I was in me trying to solve the problem at the level it was created, it wasn't working. And, I'm very grateful that somehow a light bulb went on for me. Let's talk about a few more, if you could.
Archangel Jophiel is, I love them all, but she is one that I think so many of us need, especially when we're talking about the topic that you so aptly brought up about substance abuse. So many of us are living in a fog, and we're kind of going through the motions because life gets hard. And so we have a tendency to maybe have that one glass too many, or smoke, too many packs of cigarettes, and kind of go through life a little medicated, because some things are painful, but there's another way of dealing with it. And the archangels can help you with that. So one of my favorites is Archangel Jophiel. and her name means beauty of God. And so she sort of comes to us in a fuchsia color, and you can smell jasmine and roses when she comes through. But she basically helps you see life with rose-colored glasses. She's known as the Archangel of Positive Thinking, and her energy is positive, and her mission is to bring beauty to every aspect of your life, including your thoughts. So to help you hold a more positive perspective about life, your relationships, your circumstances, your feelings, everything in your life and everything in your heart. So to feel more gratitude and enjoyment at home, in the office, anywhere in your life. And she's your archangel to guide you in all aspects of beauty and loving life as it is, and loving yourself as you are. And another kind of fun fact about her is that when I'm getting ready for this show, I like pray to her and I go, Archangel Jophiel, can you make me even more beautiful when I'm putting my makeup on? Because she is, she helps you with beauty, even with your makeup, beautifying yourself. So she's an awesome archangel. And I always feel more beautiful when I pray to her. So I highly recommend it.
Well, I mean, part of this too is really, as you say, and as our fabulous listener asked the question, is getting familiar with who you can speak with and how you can speak with them. There are a couple too that we know in our lives. One of them is Michael. I mean,
Right.
we've done movies on Michael, but I also think that perhaps Michael might be, I'm not sure if it's Michael or Uriel, that I believe is one of the most misunderstood. Let's touch upon Michael, but then I also want to talk about some of these others that maybe folks don't know about.
Okay. Well, Michael is the most well-known.
Yeah.
He who is like God. He is probably the most famous because he's been sainted, and his churches are named after him. And, he's mentioned in the Bible and sacred texts. And most people know, or maybe not, his sword is not made of steel. It's made of light. And most people know him as, for protection, like if you're driving in a car and you want to be protected, if you feel unsafe on the road and you want to make to your destination, there and back safely, most people know to pray to Archangel Michael, but he's also good for manifesting your soul's purpose in life. And he's also magnificent for cutting any negative energy in your life. So with his sword of light, and that's what the sword of light is for. So Michael knows that when we're not afraid and when we're at peace, we're at our highest self. And that's when we're at our best, because we're not in fear. So he's really a defender of all that's pure in love and light. And so he's always shown with armor, because it's not because he's fierce fighting, but because he has strength in valor and grace. So he can protect us and our loved ones, and but also he can help us to cut cords from people who are not so good to have in our lives. Like people who are not for our highest good to spend time with. And that can even be a family member, people who are, don't light us up, who bring us down, who don't believe in us, who are naysayers, who tell us that we're never going to get or live the life we want. And I'm here to tell you that you absolutely can live the life you want, and you can be everything that you want and then some. And so your archangels can help you do that. And Archangel Michael can cut the cords to anybody or any negative person in your life that you need, just to have that safe distance. Because sometimes when we're with somebody, we are energy cords, because we're all energy. We can connect, literally, the invisible strings of energy can connect to someone. And sometimes it's hard to cut that cord. And we need to be our happiest self, because sometimes we're just meant to move on and meet other people who are better for us,
Yeah.
and better for us to be with. So Archangel Michael is really wonderful for that.
Funny story, and I think you're going to talk to this, but one of the things somebody pointed out to me, like in 2005, when we switched the show name from Crust Busting to the Dr. Pat Show, all the colors changed. So we went from Crust Busting, which is still orange and gold. But when we switched over to Dr. Pat, we went to blue. And I am not known to be a blue person, right? But we went over to blue and gold. And one of our listeners called me, I don't know what year, 2006 or something, right? Back then, and says, "Oh, you called in Archangel Michael to create a positive network." And I'm looking at your outline and I thought, oh, wait a minute, royal blue, but sometimes seen with gold.
Exactly.
It's fascinating how this all comes together, isn't it? It's amazing. Yeah. But these archangels, and let's talk about a few more. They are here to literally help us in times when we may not be able to help ourselves in our humanness.
That's right. That's right. Archangel Uriel, you had mentioned, his name means light of God. And so he comes in like this glitter ball. He's totally amazing. So he can bring you epiphanies and open up your insights. And he's wonderful to call upon. I call upon him right before I go on the show, or if I'm writing a show, to call on the right words, the right ideas, the right format, if you need a solution, or if you need, if you're going to be in a meeting, or he's sort of like the Archangel Whisperer. He can whisper all those appropriate answers, how to come across your words, your thoughts. He can really give you a download, and he does once you ask him. And so, if you need to get a brilliant idea, or if you need like some insight or anything in your life, or you're just not sure in your life, like what your next step is, Archangel Uriel is your archangel. So he's known for emotional healing too. He can take pain from your past, help you reconcile all of that. And he works very well with Archangel Gabriel. So they work really well together. And they are, especially if you're known as a spiritual, or if you feel like you're called to be a teacher, or a spiritual teacher, or a writer, or in that creative vein, Archangel Uriel can help you with all your thoughts and brilliant new ideas. And
I was told when I started this 15 years ago, and we have a 15-year anniversary coming in January. I was told, had someone on the show all about angels, and said, "Pat, this is your angel. Uriel is your angel." Now, mind you, 15 years ago, I had no idea what they were even saying. It was like, what are you saying? What's the name? Right? And I'm fascinated by it, because as I started to read more and what you're sharing about, I really go to that place where I ask for the ideas. And it's fascinating to watch this journey that I've been making with Uriel, because it's always in my meditation when I ask, what is mine to do today? I believe it's Uriel that answers more. And yet I will show you how to do it. Funny, gold, if you ask anybody that knows me, I have gold frames on all the pictures. If you were to look at some of the artwork in the office, I don't know, Carter, if I'm going to mess you up if I turn this a little bit. But, as you look at things in here, right, that's a piece of artwork that I got for $5, by the way. They were throwing it out at a sale. But gold and shiny. And I didn't know till today that was Uriel's color. So now it makes sense. So now when Linda says, "Are you really going to buy something gold again?" I'm like, I'm not buying it. Uriel's buying it.
Yes, Uriel comes in at like a glitter ball. It's a glitter ball of gold. And some people see him as
Oh
yellow,
my God. Did you
but
have to
you
say
like copper too, and that's Archangel
Oh,
Gabriel. So
did you have to
Archangel
actually
Gabriel.
say glitter ball? Can you imagine what they are going to start to call me here? Uh, but is that idea though, everything about what you said, because when you think about ideas, right, it's like an illumination. When you think about the crown chakra, they have golden colors, right? um I can only imagine what it's like to be Jane Matanga and the work that you do with people and how you're able to call these all in.
I love the angels. When I really connected with them, your life just totally changes. It's so much richer, and you just know that you um, have these gifts, and you know that you are going to manifest if you stay true and believe in who you really are and who we all really are and who the angels remind us that we are.
Mm-hmm.
Your life is going to be so much more joyful and so much fuller, because you are, you then can evolve. You're not going
Yeah.
to allow some of these things um, stop you, because you have a gift, and you're being supported. And that's the beauty of the archangels, is they're supporting you in all of our physical challenges here. When our ego gets in the way, when loss happens, when we question, when we don't believe, when we are when we think we're limited, and we're not, but sometimes we go there. They're there, and they are, throughout your life. We have angels, and guardian angels are with us in multiple lifetimes. They're with us every time we reincarnate, many, many lifetimes. So they're always with us. And if you believe and you open up to that, you'll hear them. I hear them. And it's sort of like that saying, when you believe and you surrender and you trust, you start seeing signs everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see, license plate numbers that'll come up. You'll see, you'll go to the store and you'll get the same number that you saw on the license plate in front of you. You'll get the same number on the clock when you look up. Well, that's the message, because they know there's no way that we cannot discount a number, because we're in physical form. So a lot of times they'll give us messages, numbers.
Wow.
And they all have different meanings.
Let's talk about a couple more. I know we've got a few minutes left. Literally, we have like about 4 minutes or so left. How can people work with you directly? And so that if they want to work with you and they want to work with their archangels, what is the best way to people to contact you, Jane, and work with you? Phone number, website, all of the above.
Yes, they can contact me by phone at 203-631-4275, or you can write to me at info@enlightened-path.com.
Great.
And yeah,
Well,
that's the
I'm going to
best.
schedule time with you because 3 reasons. One, everybody's telling me I need to do this for what we're planning next year in the energy of Jupiter and Sagittarius. That's thing one. Two, because I think when we're building what we're building for 19, we really do need to look at archangels. And I really want to sit down with you and go over what it is that we need to call in given our vision. And then the third thing is, what I learned once upon a time is my ego would have me think I could do this all alone. I cannot. And that's what you help us understand. Asking for help is our birthright. That's why we're all here. All right. Do we have time for 2 more? Maybe
Sure. Okay.
Depends.
Let's talk about Archangel Raguel. And so Raguel is one archangel that's not as well known, and his name means friend of God. And so Archangel Raguel is really the archangel of fairness, harmony, justice, and helps us to manage our relationships. So he's a good archangel to get to know personally. He helps us, and he works with the angels and also humans. So he sort of bridges the gap. But if your concern is, if you're having, let's say, an argument with someone or a disagreement, or you're trying to resolve something, some type of misunderstanding, or just not sure that things are going well with groups of people that you're dealing with, or family members or non-family members, he's your archangel. You can call on him and he can smooth things over. He can work with energy in difficult situations, and even help you make new friends. If you ask him, let's say you might feel lonely, you can ask Archangel Raguel to please bring you new friends. And he has a pale blue, kind of like a robin's egg color blue aura, and that's how he comes. But so that's why his name is Friend of God, because he helps you with all of that intermediary, smoothing out of disagreements, and kind of unity and oneness, and then helps you find new friends, and it works, believe me.
Yeah.
Just ask, you'll find out. Sometimes it happens instantly. Sometimes it takes just a little while because the right timing has to happen, but it's going to happen. So
yeah,
all you have to do is ask.
Yeah. And I love the way this works, though, because I love that this is a bridging the gap. And so sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes there's more than one archangel that needs to come together. And it's almost like you need someone to help create the glue to that. Because I know that when I was doing the show and then I got really, really sick, I really needed a lot of different help from a lot of different places. It just came out of nowhere, right? And so, what you're talking about today is doing that. But more importantly, when you don't know what you don't know, people can just call you.
Yes, they can call me, and I love working with the angels. I love helping people with their personal mastery, and to help them just get into more alignment, and to get more passionate about their life, and to just know the next steps, so that their life is really more inspired. And sometimes we all need a little help, and in just maintaining that, because sometimes life can be challenging.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. What I would like to do is ask you again your personal message, but we gotta buzz. We're almost out of time. Real quick, what do you want to leave
So
us with?
I'll leave you with this quote. May each moment of your day be carried upon the wings of angels. And have a wonderful holiday season. Much love and light. And looking forward to our next show in December.
Loving it, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning us in, turning us on. We'll see you next time.